From inside the gym at Leominster High School on a cold and icy evening here in central Massachusetts, we welcome you to this edition of Leominster High School Hoops right here on Leominster TV. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for Leominster TV tonight. As the girls take center stage on this night, they play host to the Wachusett Mountaineers. Leominster comes in a 6-3 record, 1-2 in Midwatch A. That's good enough for the third position, but they find themselves chasing. Who are they chasing? The top seed. That's the opposition tonight in the Wachusett Mountaineers. A record of 8-1. They're 4-0 in Midwatch A, and they've been a proverbial steamroller, already taking Leominster down once in the early part of the season. It was the opening night of the year. On Friday night, December the 15th, Wachusett a 60-31 winner at their house, the first time these two teams played. And Bill Thomas, it's pretty evident when you look at the numbers exactly why that game was lopsided and why Wachusett is the force that they have been throughout the year.
Yeah, they're playing spectacular basketball in Central Mass. You know, they're kind of like the Leominster of the football side, where they're not afraid to venture out, and they showed that by playing Braintree. You know, let's go play those tough teams, because the only way you get better, and we've seen that locally. You know, Coach Palazzi's had that philosophy a lot for the last whenever on the football side. But, you know, we're talking about a team that scores 60.8, only giving up 34.3. But if I told you a team with 60.8, you're probably going to guess what's their high score. Probably 15 to 18 on average. We're talking Reagan McDonald, 11.1 is their high scoring average. But consistency, double points in at least 8 out of their 9 games. But you tell me when to stop after that. Reagan McDonald, 11.1. Yep. Aya Scott at 9.1. Haley Johnson at 8.3. Bridget Griffin, 6.7. Laura Vinton, 6.6. Let's see. Oh, I skipped one. Rachel Vinton, 6.1. I'm seeing a theme here.
Yes, indeed.
Belle Lamford, 6.0. And her sister, Courtney, 4.8.
4.8.
You got to get about 8 deep into the bench till somebody who's averaging less than 6 points. And I think a team that's that deep, it's going to cause some rotation problems for the Leominster Blue Devils.
And my loose math tells me that they're averaging large numbers off the bench as well. When you're getting that kind of production off the bench, it's hard to contend with.
And when you're in a number of blowouts, you can play your full bench, and it's no better way to get experience than your 7th, 8th, and 9th kids down the bench. Not that that's why they might have some stats that they do. You still got to perform. Even if it's garbage time, they play their own little games within the game. Everybody wants to win their quarter, their time when they're out there. And Wachusett shows no let-up whenever they're running their second team out there, or they get into their bench, 7th, 8th, 9th girl. They're still scoring, and they're still keeping the pressure on the team, shown by a number of blowouts, 35-plus point wins. I think 7 of their 8 wins are 35 points or more.
So diversification is the key for Wachusett. They spread the ball around and spread the points around. On the other side of the floor, Kate, for Leominster, it is as it has been over the last few years. It's Riley Skinner and everybody else.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's Riley Skinner's team on her shoulders right now. As a veteran, it's kind of been nice to see her, the maturation process throughout her high school career. And right now, this team and its success, the linchpin right now, everything does run through Riley Skinner. So if you are game planning against the Blue Devils right now, that's something, if you are coaching the Blue Devils, you do get worried about making sure that you have, you know, the depth on the bench. I mean, everybody in Central Mass would like to be able to have the depth that Wachusett does with those points per game averages. But right now, you do have to worry if you are Leominster. If Riley Skinner gets taken out of this game, point production-wise, who else is going to be able to step up for the Blue Devils, particularly in that starting 5, but also off of the bench? You need to get positive production and not just a point here and there. You really do need some pretty masterful play tonight from several of these Lady Blue Devils in order to even think about being successful in this one, because the Mountaineers are going to bring it, and they're going to bring it from every single angle.
And Leominster has continued with that tradition of wanting to play a chaotic and frenetic pace of offense. But then I look over across the floor at Wachusett, and I see a lot of physical bodies there. And I think to myself, who's going to want to body up against them? And the size, we've said for a number of years now, it's the returner. It's Megan Hutchinson. Yeah. She's got the size for the Blue Devils. She's got a little bit of help this year as well with the other forward, Haley Monville, that will get the start tonight on the other side of the arc. But as I look at it, somebody's got to be willing to body up against the trees.
Yeah, and that sometimes when we see that frenetic pace of play play by the Blue Devils, particularly in the offensive zone. Sometimes when they're really kind of off of the rails, you see a lot of perimeter shooting. They're not really willing to go and drive into the lane to try to get those points in the paint. And on the defensive end, you have a situation where, it's kind of one of those, how physical can you get? It's a kind of a ticky-tack situation, and hopefully Miss Hutchinson can find a way to find a nice balance, especially because she is the big right now on Leominster, both on the offensive and defensive ends of the court. So we'll see what she has to bring. I think she's also going to be a very key component to this one, especially what is the Leominster Blue Devil defense going to give up when they're on the defensive end, and what are they going to be willing to take not just on the perimeter. The perimeter shots, particularly in girls basketball, not always the highest percentage plays, so really do have to get in that paint and start playing a physical game. But as you said, not just the Mountaineers, but a mountain to climb tonight.
Indeed they are. Back in December, 60-31. Wachusett a winner. Leominster's got to double up their production on that one for tonight, and a little bit more in order to pull this one out. We'll see, and we'll have it all for you here. Tip-off is next. You're watching Leominster High School Hoops right here on Leominster TV. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Tip-off, Leominster and Wachusett here on Leominster TV. Riley Skinner in the center circle for the jump with Haley Johnson of the Mountaineers. Ball tipped laterally along the timeline, corralled by the Blue Devils. They take control front court to our right. Starting five for Leominster, Skylar Finnegan running the point with the basketball right now. Megan Hutchinson playing down low. Riley Skinner, Grace Adams, and Haley Monville will finish it off. And Hutchinson finishes off for two. Leominster on the board, 2-0, 7.5 to play here in the first quarter. Here's a turnaround shot missed in the paint by Laura Vinton. There'll be a couple of Vintons in the starting lineup tonight. Her sister Rachel Vinton also getting the start at the guard spot tonight. We have Bridget Griffin, Reagan McDonald, Haley Johnson, Jill Post, all getting the starting five in green tonight for the Mountaineers. Finnegan with control at the left elbow, gave up the dribble. She got trapped by the defense. Drops a little bounce pass to Skinner. Skinner, a little bounce back three. Wiped out. Shot was off the mark. It was saved by Monville, but right into the hands of the waiting Mountaineers, and back the other way they go. Half court left. Here's a three-spot straight away. Does not roll for Rachel Vinton, and the loose basketball ends up rebounded in the hands of Hutchinson, and down floor she comes.
Good start by Megan Hutchinson. Only 2 points the first time these two teams meet. Matt, nice to see her get an early basket here, maybe get her going.
She's matched her total from the first night. She's got the two. It's 2-0 Leominster on top of Wachusett. Finnegan the drive. She gets stripped on the way to the basket. Going the other way. McDonald drives, throws on the brakes, swings the ball back behind her to Rachel Vinton. Sets up a three-pointer for Johnson. Won't go. Loose ball out of bounds. And the ball will go to Leominster. 6:22 to play here in the first.
Smart move by Megan here, just watching it go out of bounds, not trying to go after it. Heads-up play right there. I need some help over here.
And they get the inbound into the center of the floor for Monville. Full court pressure for the Mountaineers, and Skinner dribbles them back into a half-court defense. Crosses the timeline, now drives straight down the lane between four Mountaineers, no finish at the rim.
Nice crossover dribble to free herself up at the top of the key.
And back down floor come the Mountaineers. Deliberate pace on both sides.
That's kind.
15 to shoot. Post. Off the left side of the arc with a little handoff. Go ahead, Billy.
We'll call it patience.
Yes, indeed. Down the center of the lane, they find a cutter. That one won't roll for McDonald from the odd angle left. 2-0 Leominster's lead. 5:40 to play here in the first quarter. The early basket came within the first 30 seconds or so, and not much doing since. Skinner gets a little inside handoff. Shot just off back rim. Rebound down in the hands of the Mountaineers. One-shot possessions, Kate, seems to be the market right now.
No offensive rebounds for either team. The Blue Devils with 3 missed shots, and the Mountaineers with 4.
A tip, a strip. Finnegan throws it up floor. Skinner kept it alive, but it's going back the other way. Now 3-on-1 on Grace Adams. Pinpoint passing and a finish at the rim there for Reagan McDonald.
Good job there. A lot of patience on that 3-on-1 and made it convert.
Knotted at 2. 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Adams, front court, gives up the dribble. Floats, paint, Monville double team. Cross court, find Hutchinson. Drive, paint, now double. Kick back, Adams, straight away 3. Got the front rim. Play kept alive by Finnegan on the baseline to the hands of the Mountaineers. Here's the run out with Rachel Vinton. Vinton down center of the lane. Little jump stop for her sister Laura. Count the basket plus the foul. Hutchinson getting back into the play.
Yeah, it's 2 times in a row down court with those saves on the way out of bounds has gone against the Blue Devils here and ended up with numbers for Wachusett coming down the other end. 4-on-2 that time. Converted and a 1.
They build Skinner for the foul, her first. No touch for the 3-point play. 4-2 Wachusett. They got a rebound and then a foul on the rebounding action. This one's going to get tagged to Skylar Finnegan.
2 Blue Devils there fighting over the rebound. Wachusett girl looks like Haley Johnson got involved and ended up getting a foul called.
Cross court, find Johnson. Johnson drive, drop it down low, paint. Laura Vinton leaves it there for Johnson, the cutter, who finishes.
That classic give and go right there, Todd and Kate.
6-2, Wachusett's lead. 4:20 to play here in the first quarter.
You know, the defender can't turn their head on that outside girl because they're going to blow right in, and Wachusett looks disciplined enough to look for that.
Skylar Finnegan, drive left side, bothered from behind, has to kick back. Adams 3, left side, no. Rebound down and a foul on the rebounding action. I think Finnegan just picked up her second, and she did.
That does not bode well. It's pretty early in the night with 4:06 to go in the first.
Not only did she pick up the foul, but she took a shot for it on top of it.
That's the Blue Devils team third.
Gabby Frederick checks into the ball game to spell Finnegan.
Takes an early seat.
Yeah,
2
I
fouls.
think that's likely going to move Skinner to the point here. And they'll let Frederick play the off guard. Post. Passes off to Laura Vinton. Vinton still got her dribble. Kicks it over for her sister Rachel. Now Cutter down the lane. It's McDonald, and she finishes. 8-2 Wachusett. 3:40 to play here in the first quarter.
Great look for those cutters. Wachusett showing how it's done, putting on a clinic.
Skinner right off the inbound, coast to coast, lays it in. Leominster cuts the lead to 4. 8-4 Wachusett. 3.5 to play in the first.
Skinner picks up her first points on the evening.
Pass deflected out of the middle of the lane by Hutchinson. She was fronting there on Johnson. Loose ball to Frederick, who takes it into the front court. Frederick, the left-hand dribble and kick, finds Hutchinson. Drives back to the paint. On the roll back, kicks, finds Frederick. Frederick for Adams, 15 to shoot. Floats into the post. Finds Skinner, 1 bounce, jump shot. She hits the mark.
That's a good spot for Riley right there, about 8 to 10 feet away. Little turn and pop.
And the lead is 2 for the Mountaineers at 8-6. Under 3 minutes to play in the first. Shot missed off the left side there by Laura Vinton. Loose basketball to the half court. It was tipped, recovered by the Mountaineers. Launch up a long 3. Post no. And the shot down in the hands of Hutchinson. And then post fouls getting back into the play.
It's going to be team first for the Mountaineers.
8-6, they hold the lead. 2:42 to play here in quarter number 1. Coach Jim Oxford makes a handful of changes. Send some fresh jerseys out on the floor.
Must be nice when you've got that much production coming off of your bench. You can make wholesale changes even this early in the game.
Adams the drive, come to Frederick. Frederick, a little screen, gets her to the foul line, but then defensive switch. She has to go back out to the top of the key.
Those changes will absolutely make the starting five's legs fresh by the time we get to the fourth.
Hutchinson fought out of a double team, got it onto the rim, missed the shot the other way. Shot up and laid in by Nariah Scott. Not affected by the defense from behind. 10-6 to play. 2:10 to play here in the first.
Already points now coming in from the bench for Wachusett. That's going to be key.
Skinner still with that reckless abandon. She lost her dribble, kept it alive. Pass tipped as the Mountaineers took it over by Adams. Not able to chase down the loose ball. Flashing, post, push shot. Banks it in and good.
Once again, the cutter.
Wachusett doubles him up again.
I don't know how much Dave's going to take of that. Be calling a timeout pretty soon. These girls are going to have to start switching off and cover that lane.
12-6, Wachusett's lead. Buck and a half to play here in the first
I think
quarter.
on that last play, too, you saw Leominster's communication right now is very deliberate and almost forced. It's taking a lot of time for these girls to communicate on where they're going, and Wachusett right there just going right by the defense.
Frederick with 10 to shoot. The ball was deflected in the air and ended up in the hands of Hutchinson, and she had it stripped away from her out of bounds, and the ball goes back the other way.
I think what the Blue Devils are going to have to pay attention to is the girl that's making that first pass on the perimeter, and then they got to watch for her. They're cutting the lane, and they're using the screens well, and they're getting a lot of easy layups.
And it's one right after another. Looks like a square dance through the middle of the paint. Ball thrown wide outside. It was deflected, and it is Leominster basketball. Coach Palazzi jumped up off the bench. Says, I can help you with
Third
that.
official
Hit
over
him
there.
right there, going this way.
He's like, I had that.
No, I think what we're seeing here with the Mountaineers, what they're running is kind of a loose version of the weave, the old Celtic-style offense, and it's effective if you can't stay with your man on defense, or your lady in this case.
So PC, William. Well done.
Well, with your opponent, let's put it that way.
Two screens
There's
from
a nice
Faith
pass inbound right
Akachiri,
there.
and that sets up a lay-in from Frederick to Skinner.
Nice.
Count the basket and a foul.
Nice baseline play right there, and Skinner's got to do more than that. She got some height down there, and as long as the guards can be looking for her, I think that's one place they can take advantage of maybe some softness by Wachusett's defense.
Team second, first for Lanther. Lanther, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Lanther.
And touches a lot of iron, but won't fall for Skinner. 12-8, Wachusett's lead, under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Little stutter and drive there for Scott down the lane. Unceremoniously dropped, and the loose ball to the hands of Faith Akachiri.
Oh boy.
And there was a lost handle there right along the timeline, and they say it's an over and back call against Leominster. Had they established in the front court would be the question before it went back into the back court.
Coach Palazzi not having any of it.
Yeah, he
Shaking his
didn't
head.
buy.
I mean, these are the types of things where you need every call you can get tonight.
Yeah, you definitely can't
Not,
fall behind in that category.
Yeah.
35 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Mountaineers with the basketball. About a 10-second differential shot clock to game clock.
I gotta tell you, watching the Mountaineers, it's almost like watching the Harlem Globetrotters, where they're weaving down the lane.
Float into the
Precision.
post. Scott with it. Nice take down the low baseline. Banks it off the window and in.
Not only precision, Kate, but good patience. Continue to work it back and forth. Look for
Waiting
that
for
cutter.
the look. Waiting for the look.
Waiting for the look.
Yep.
Waiting for the defender to turn her head, to watch the ball, lose their opponent, and that's when they take advantage of the cuts down the lane.
Shot clock off, 10 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Clear out, now Skinner drives the lane. One-on-one cross the court. Tries to get up a three, it got swatted back in her face. She got the ball in the face. Battle for the ball, it's alive. The shot will not count. But meanwhile, the story is Riley Skinner, who tried to take a three, driving the ball up floor. It got stripped out of her hands at the point of the shot, and the ball came back into her face. She goes over to the far side. Coach Palazzi tried to look for a foul call there, but I actually think it was a clean play, just a tough and unfortunate sequence of events. Ball taken right out of her hands on the shot, and it came right back into her face.
Yeah, and Riley trying to force something, clock running down, a little bit out of control, but didn't get the call. Good defense by the Wachusett defender there, and she took the brunt of it.
1 quarter in the books here from the gym at Leominster High School. Wachusett 14 and Leominster 8. Kate, through 1 quarter, what's jumping off the stat sheet?
Through 1 quarter, it was as we expected in the pregame. Right now, Riley Skinner, 6 of the 8 points for the Blue Devils. Only 2 people on the score sheet right now for Leominster. On the flip side of things, for the Mountaineers, already 5 people on the score sheet. Scott with 4, McDonald with 4, Johnson with 2, Post with 2, and Vinton with 2. So right now you have the kind of the Medusa of all things. If you're defending one person, then another person on the floor is able to make a contribution. And again, already we're seeing points being put on the board by the bench players for Wachusett. Those second teamers coming in, they're able to have quite a bit of production, and I really do think that the starting 5 for Wachusett are going to have favorable and healthy and strong legs by the time we get to the 4th. And right now the Blue Devils are going to have to rely on their starting 5 if they're going to be able to pull this one out.
Calling it the diversification offense for Wachusett. They will hit
As advertised.
everybody and just spread it out.
And they got points from somebody I didn't even talk about, Jill Post. I mean, where's she come from?
Hey now.
You know?
Contributions on the board. We start quarter number 2. Everyone's out on the floor. Skinner appears to be okay. Wachusett with possession, half court to the left. Here's a drive down the lane.
Beautiful
Foul
drive.
called. Basket goes. Courtney Lamfer's got 2 and a chance for 3 coming up.
Good use by a left hand there by Courtney. You don't see that a lot, especially at the high school level. Well, I'm not sure if she's naturally left-handed, but she sure made good use of that left-handed dribble down the lane, and
That's now 6 Wachusett Mountaineers on the score sheet.
looking for the N one, and she looks like she's a natural righty. Puts a two-hand push shot up.
And that one goes, completes the three-point play for Landfair. And Kate, that's 15 seconds into the second quarter, and they've got 6 different scores.
Yep. You got it.
Adams with the ball half court right, tried the behind the back dribble and lost it. Loose ball was grabbed by Scott, and then a held ball call as Akachiri got a hand on it. And on the alternate possession, it's Leominster basketball. Skinner's going to handle the inbound right in front of the Mountaineer bench. She finds Finnegan back into the game with 2 early fouls in the first quarter. Coach Palazzi sends her out there with the 2 fouls here at the start of the second. Skinner, a little leaner drive around the world, and it will not fall. Wow.
No one else there to rebound but Wachusett.
Meanwhile, back down floor, Scott is money. Put 3 more on the board, it's 20-8.
Rainmaker right there.
Loose ball to the floor, Skinner gets into the battle with Scott. Held ball call, and on the alternate possession, Wachusett gets this one.
Mariah Scott making her presence felt here very early in the second quarter.
7:07 to play here, quarter number 2. Mountaineers have got themselves a 20-8 lead. Flowed into the post, looking for Scott. She got a hand on it, lost it out of bounds. Ball back the other way.
Once again, the cutter, Wachusett looking, every pass around, looking for that cutter.
There is that point of no return, I feel like, in this game, where it could tip off the edge and you can't get back into the game for Leominster. Next 5 minutes, Bill Thomas, could be key before the half.
I think so. You got to stay within 10 here, I think, going into the locker room. Put a little run together here.
Skinner sets up a Finnegan 3 off the left side, no go. Scott not able to get the rebound, battling Akachiri. Adams kept the ball alive. It was poked away from her out of bounds, and Leominster's got the basketball still. Half court to the right, 27 seconds to shoot. 6:38 to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, unless Blue Devils start heating up from the outside. You got to start looking inside. The outside shooting's kind of cold. I'm sure Kate will have some shot stats, but not looking too good on the outside shooting.
Akachiri off the Adams inbound. Cross the dribble, gave it up for Skinner. 20 to shoot. Clock is frozen at the scorer's table at 6:38. Shot clock is still running here, 15 to shoot. Game clock still frozen here at 6:38, and now it starts rolling. Probably a good 10 to 15 seconds. Skinner with the drive, got fouled. 2 shots coming up for Skinner if they call it in the act of shooting.
Billy, to your point, you asked about perimeter shooting for the Blue Devils. 0 of 5 from behind the 3-point arc right now.
They say the foul is on the floor. And so Adams floats it up top foul line. Skinner step back 3-pointer, was fading away from it. Off the mark left, Scott runs down the loose ball on the baseline. Scott throws it up floor, nobody in particular finds Johnson. Johnson goes inside, wide open. Laura Vinton lays it in and good.
Good look. Good look right there. Once again, the Blue Devils caught looking the other way, losing a defender, their offensive player under the basket.
When you're doubling somebody, that means somebody's got to be open on the floor.
Absolutely.
And especially with a team like this where they distribute the points so evenly, very difficult to double team one person when you have so many threats on the court.
Let's pick your poison out on the floor right now. Post, tight defense on Skinner, got the
Now,
inbound.
in this situation, doubling Riley Skinner, that becomes a no-brainer. I'd triple team her if I was out there right now. I'd put everybody on her.
And dare the other 3 people to beat you.
Take a shot.
Right.
Go ahead.
Understandable.
Pad your stats.
I mean, until some of the other Blue Devils start stepping up, I mean, there's no better strategy. Just blanket Skinner.
And Adams lost it on a 5-second count. No help. We would call that in football a coverage sack. That was an inbound defensive sack. There was no place to go with the basketball.
That becomes the 10th turnover so far in this one for the Blue Devils.
Over the timeline, clock under 5:50 to play here in the second quarter. 22-8, Wachusett's lead. Laura Vinton floats post. Scott in a double team, not able to corral. Loose ball picked up by Skinner. 3-on-3 down the floor. Skinner the off-angle shot and not going to cut it. Meanwhile, back down floor. Scott leaked out down floor. They found her. She gets the basket to go. And Coach Palazzi says timeout, stopping the clock. 5:27 to play in the second quarter. It's 24-8 Mountaineers, and we're on the precipice of that tipping point.
Things gotten a little out of hand here in the second quarter. Has the Blue Devils scored in the second quarter?
That would be a no.
I had to think there for a second. Was it 12-8, I believe? And now that's been doubled.
It was 14-8.
14-8, whatever it is, it's getting ugly.
Yep. One of the things that I find very interesting from an outsider perspective here, how different both of these defenses kind of are having to deal with one another. You have Wachusett. I mean, granted, we've been talking about it all night, kind of ad nauseum. Powerhouse right now in the Mid-Watch in Central Massachusetts. But like we said, so many scoring threats on their end of the their offensive end, whereas juxtapose that against the Blue Devils, who really do have to rely on Riley Skinner. So you have this huge juxtaposition with both of these coaching staffs having to make decisions. Do you double team somebody? I mean, I can't imagine who you could possibly double team if you're going up against Wachusett, because as we said, then that leaves somebody open, and we know they can all score.
And
the
just
chair at the end of the bench for them can score.
Just to add to your point,
5.
Kate,
It's averaging 5 a game.
I think what we're seeing is a stagnant Blue Devils offense and a constant motion
Yes.
Mountaineers
Yes.
offense, and it's very contrasting.
Very easy to lose somebody in a motion offense. Monville
Looks very slow developing.
for Frederick. Frederick comes to Skinner on the near side, post defending. Floats inside looking for Akachiri. That pass is high and outside and going the other way. Here's Vinton. Sets up a Johnson 3. Off the left side of the rim, no. Ball out of bounds. Leominster gets it back. 4:56 to play in the second quarter. And I mean, what jumps out at me, Bill Thomas, Leominster is averaging almost 54 points a game in their favor.
That is not happening
And
tonight.
Wachusett is only allowing 35-ish.
Right.
You look at those numbers and the fact that Leominster only posted 31 against Wachusett, and I'm with Kate. This score doesn't look good.
No, and I think at this point the Blue Devils are going to struggle just to get to that defensive average that the Mountaineers have been holding other teams to at this point.
Frederick. Shot off for Smith. Off mark. Faith Akachiri, rebound, going to the floor. She traveled with it going to the floor in the middle of a double team.
Tough
Two
call.
trees, one set up left, one set up right. You got nowhere to go.
Tough call. I thought they were going to have a held ball there, but unfortunately it didn't go the Blue Devils' way.
If this does continue in the trend that we have been talking about, and of course adjustments can be made, and you have to play 4 quarters of basketball, so hope Blue Devils can't give up. Certainly got to keep playing, but these are the types of games when they're going up against a team that is technically and fundamentally superior to you. These are the types of games where not only do you work on your sportsmanship, you work on your fundamentals, but you try to at least aspire to what it is that you're going up against. This is how this is done correctly.
Skinner tried to jump the pass on the last possession. She did this time. Takes it to the lane. No finish at the rim. Smith tried the second opportunity. Goes up strong. Got fouled. And Giovanna Smith will have 2 shots coming at the line. Finish, finish, finish. You got to finish at the rim.
Yeah, I agree. Would have been nice to see Riley convert there after that steal. Didn't really look for any trailers there. Just trying to do a little too much. Expectedly, maybe feeling some pressure here because
Certainly got to feel it.
it's tough to find scoring from the other 4 that are on the court right now.
4:06 to go. Still no points on the board for Leominster with Smith at the line.
And so going back to my first quarter memory notes, just 2 scores for the Blue Devils at this point. Megan with her first 2, and then
Riley.
Lespen Skinner.
Yep. And still no. The drought continues. Smith missed the second opportunity halfway through this second quarter. Leominster still not on the board here in quarter 2. Monville with the strip. Up courts it, finds Skinner. Skinner stepped around. Nice play. Too strong. Going the other way. Here's a 3-on-2. Shot up. Count the basket and the foul. Gabriella Frederick gave up the foul. You got to do something down the floor.
That's the 7th Mountaineer on the scoring sheet.
Textbook fast break there with a nice bounce pass on the cutter. Convert and looking for the N1.
And that's Bridget Griffin at the line. Nothing
Didn't
but
waste any time putting that up.
She knew what she wanted and she got it. Completes a 3-point play. 3:45 to play here in quarter number 2. And Smith will slow things up, bringing it up floor. Smith working on Scott. Gets a screen from Frederick. Smith drives to the right side. Monville trying to look for the ball entried. Not getting it. They go to Akachiri at the foul line. Off angle, doesn't go. Akachiri, second opportunity though. Good battle and lays it in and gets Leominster on the board in the second quarter and into double digits. They trail by 17. It's 27-10, 3.5 to play in the second. Go left corner this time. Find Johnson. Johnson back top of the key, finds Landfair. Lanfer head fake, drive, finds Scott, nice inside passing. Scott got fouled, and she's got 2 shots coming from the line.
Good job. Good ball control from the top of the key there. Just waiting. Lanfer looks up, sees a cutter right there, and couldn't convert, but still a good-looking play.
Skinner picks up her 2nd, team 6th.
Scott can't get that one to go. Leominster's got a handful of subs coming in. Starters all back into the ball game now. 3:11 to play here in the second quarter. 27-10 is Wachusett's lead. And of course, Wachusett on the verge here tonight of another big battle in Midwatch A. They've got Shepherd Hill coming up at the tail end of the week. That'll be a battle of 1 and 2 in Midwatch A.
That'll be a good game.
Without a doubt. Step through Monville, up in the double team. She got fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Not only 1 and 2 in Midwatch A, but 1 and 2 in the TNG poll. Also, Shepherd Hill at 11 and 1. The all consensus number 2 with 90 votes, just behind Wachusett with 100 votes.
And I got to look across, Bill Thomas, the last couple of years, and Wachusett and Shepherd Hill have been the girls' basketball teams to beat.
Unfortunately, first time around, Shepherd Hill took it on the chin to the tune of 63-41. So, when you're 20 points better than your second-ranked team, I think that says a lot about your stature.
A buzzsaw is a buzzsaw, no matter who you are. Monville, rim violation there, going the other way. 1 of 2 on this trip. 2:58 to play in the second quarter. 27-11. Wachusett with the lead.
Still want to see the girls keep playing here, though.
Oh, without a doubt.
Even if you got to break this down by minutes, by quarters, by substitution, Dave's going to keep coaching.
Ball was tipped from behind by Hutchinson. Hutchinson the dribble down floor. Cross court, find Adams. Finnegan was wide open on the left side. No ability to get her the basketball. Hutchinson, the loose handoff for Adams. Indeed. Drops the pass for Finnegan.
Ooh,
Finnegan creates a little space with an elbow. And tried to float a pass to Skinner, and that one tipped away. 2-on-1 down floor with Hutchinson. Avoided the foul, but the lay-in was good for Bridget Griffin.
That's her spot right there. Money shot for her.
Soft hands. This one stripped on the inbound by Johnson. Makes its way to the left side of the lane. Hutchinson gives the foul. 2 shots coming up for Courtney Landfair at the line.
Tell you, I'm really impressed with Belle Landfair, though. She's, for a sophomore, I'm looking grade 10, doing a great job here, controlling the floor, controlling the dribble, running the point, and great bounce pass. A lot of good interior passing from her, and she's only a sophomore. Wachusett's got a couple of good years to look forward to her running the team, it looks like.
First one up quickly and off the mark for Landfair. Second one will go. And now here comes the full court pressure again. Into Skinner through the double team. She dribbles it out with a little bit of room, and now token pressure back to man into the half court. Here comes Skinner with the right-hand dribble. Got the screen from Hutchinson, tried the screen and roll. Skinner never looked for it. Popped the shot, missed. Rebound, Monville. No man's land, hit the side of the basket. Still alive, going the other way. Here's Courtney Landfer. Kick for Johnson. Ball tipped away by Finnegan. Finnegan throws it up floor, finds the lead man pass to Skinner in a double team. Fade away, off balance, not on the mark either. And the loose ball was tipped by Monville. Monville works Skinner, and a little bit of chaos is broken out. Skinner fires one up, off mark. Monville gets another opportunity. Shot leads to a foul, and Monville goes to the line for 2.
A little bit of controlled chaos there, and played out to Leominster's advantage there. Steal on the inbounds. See if they can't convert for some points here.
Would like to see them cut it in half before the half. First one is off the mark for Haley Monville. 1:38 to play in the second quarter, 30-11. Wachusett's lead. Monville's second is short. And the ball goes the other way with the Mountaineers. When you just look with 1:38 to play here in the second quarter, what would happen assuming we were at halftime? You project out, well, what if the teams just double their production? 60-22 would be our final score.
But that's what Lady Mountaineers have been doing to all their opponents.
And they've made it look very easy. That lead has grown steadily. It hasn't been pretty or perfect, but opportunities like that. Missed the first shot, second opportunity, lay in good, and it's 32-11.
Yeah, good positioning under the boards, but I'm surprised they're even taking outside shots. Inside game's been so good tonight.
But if you're getting the look.
soft hands around the rim, and on mark. That's the whole thing. Get it up on the rim, good things happen. Leominster firing up shots from all sorts of strange angles, and if they're not falling from those strange angles, it ain't going to work. Hutchinson cuts short on the second block. Loose ball back, Finnegan on the reload. Missed. Ooh. Skinner to the floor. Quickly the referees converge. Held ball the call. Alternate possession favors Leominster.
I didn't see anybody holding the ball there. It looked like the ball was loose on the floor.
Yeah, well, you know.
He was not going to wait to see
how that panned out. I don't want anybody else jumping in on that pile.
32-11, Wachusett's lead. 46 flat remaining here in the first half. Adams inbound. Monville right-hand dribble. Drive. Missed the first one, got her own rebound, missed the second. Try it again. Oh, taken out by a Mountaineer on the floor. Loose basketball, held ball the call. Alternate possession back to the Mountaineers. An unfortunate sequence of events there.
You know, that's easy to say, call timeout right now while you're laying there, but it's the last thing the girl's thinking of.
First of all, she's thinking about bracing herself as she heads to the floor.
A hard fall there, too, on her knees.
Bell Landfair brings it up floor. Flips a pass to Johnson. Can't handle it. Loose ball picked up by Monville. Monville to Finnegan. Finnegan finds Hutchinson. Step up two. She hits. 32-13. Under 15 seconds to play. Finnegan swats it away around Landfair. Now Skinner takes the three and buries it. Uncontested. Cuts it in half. 32-16. 1 second to play here, and at the timeline, that's the way things will end. A flurry of life from Leominster right before halftime gets them to that halfway point. It's Wachusett 32 and Leominster 16.
We talked about them cutting it in half. Would have liked to seen that half a little smaller, maybe, you know, in the 20s to somewhere in the teens, but half is half, and I'm sure Dave will make some adjustments here coming out for the third quarter. Got to stop those cutters. You got to do something to combat that weave that Lady Mountaineers been running very effectively.
Need to have a great second half of action. We'll talk about that and give you some first half stats. A break and we're back with more. You're watching Leominster High School Hoops right here on Leominster TV. Halftime score here at the gym at Leominster High School. Wachusett 32 and Leominster 16. Alongside Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins here. Our award-winning executive producer is Bradley Bedard. Kate has unstuck herself, and she's got our first half stats.
You sitting on gum or something over here, Kate? Something I should know about?
I got my legs stuck. All right, let's take a look at stats before Bradley wants to hurt me. All right, let's take a look first at the Blue Devils side of the ball. Team totals first. 7 of 31 from the field are the Lady Blue Devils. They're shooting 23%. They are 1 of 5 from behind the three-point arc, shooting 20%. 13 rebounds, 6 steals, 15 turnovers. Scoring contributions, Skinner with 9 points, Faith Akachiri with 2, Hutchinson with 4, and Monville with 1. They are shooting 1 of 7 from the charity stripe. That's 14%. If we take a look now at the Wachusett Mountaineers side of the ball, team totals first. 14 of 24 from the field. They're shooting 58%. They are also 1 of 5 from behind the three-point arc, shooting 20%, 10 rebounds, 1 steal, 13 turnovers. We have scoring contributions from 7 different Lady Mountaineers. Scott with 9, Griffin with 5, McDonald with 4, Johnson with 4, Lamfer with 4, Post with 2, and Vinton with 4 as well. And together they are shooting 3 of 7 from behind the charity stripe. That's 43%. And again, when you have that many people making scoring contributions of more than 2 points, you get a lot of points.
That about sums things up. Bill Thomas,
get a lot of points.
Without spending more time on that, I like
crack
that.
analysis
that
there.
was Cracker Jack analysis right there.
I love it.
I get paid big bucks.
Without spending a lot of time on that, let's talk a little bit about what we saw out here on the floor at halftime. It's always nice to see the future of Leominster out here. There's at least one, if not more, the youth girls basketball teams in attendance tonight. They were excited. They were out here playing on the floor. It's a big night, and it's, of course, great to see the future out here as well.
Yeah, out here in their uniforms, their warm-ups, and you know they can't wait to get to this level. They're already on the big court, so to speak.
Absolutely.
And you know, we saw a little glimpse of maybe some potential ball handler or two there, and maybe you never know what's going to show up in 3 or 4 years. But let's talk about what we're going to have here in the second half.
Yes,
and none of these girls are going to, that we saw at halftime, are going. It's not like, you know, Larry Bird's not walking through that door, or whoever Rick Pitino said was not going to show up. But I think they really just have to break the second half down. You got to look for something to build on, a little bit of a confidence factor here. You know, the last thing Dave wants to do is get blown out twice in the same season by a team they most likely are going to have to face in the playoffs if they do get that far.
Yep.
I know it's a long ways away. They're still chasing 6 wins, you know, every 10 wins, 4 more wins. They're not going to get one of them tonight, but there's plenty of opportunities for them to make the playoffs and maybe meet this team down the road again after some adjustments and give them a little more competitive game, I hope.
32-16, Wachusett on top of Leominster at the half. A break in the second half inbound. When we come back, you're watching Leominster High School Hoops right here on Leominster TV. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School. Second half underway. Leominster with control. Inbound half court to the left. Finnegan finds Monville, and she lost the basketball. Laura Vinton with it. Held ball right off the start. About 11 seconds into this second half, and on the alternate possession, Wachusett's got the basketball.
Good defense there right off the inbounds. Creates a turnover for the Mountaineers.
Indeed it does. Cross-court post, playing catch with Rachel Vinton. Launches the three, won't go. Rebound down for Monville. Monville finds Adams. Adams down the lane, leads the shoulder, and clears her out with the lay-in and good.
Letting them
Grace
play
Adams.
a little bit right there. You know, and good job because, you know, I talked about Grace. I think she was scoreless, but she's definitely a girl I was looking to get some points from tonight.
Todd, how many starters are out there for Wachusett right now?
That's an excellent question. Shot up won't go. Second opportunity, not as well. Loose battle on the floor, and Rachel Vinton with it.
I see 3.
Yeah, 3, 4.
4 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
All
Nope,
starters.
not all.
Was
Number 1 is out there for Bridget. I don't think Bridget's out there. We
no,
got Vinton.
she didn't start. Rachel Vinton did. She
she
played off the bench.
Okay. Oh,
So,
I see.
Yeah, 5 of 5.
Oh, your chart was messed up.
Yeah, information.
Okay.
When you get the information 5 minutes before you
Garbage
leave the
in,
house,
garbage out.
you got to kind of, you piece it together there. Want to
I
thank,
gotcha.
thank Mike Leclerc for all of his assistance in the preparation of this one.
Got most of it.
Indeed. Shot off the mark. Second opportunity won't go for Laura Vinton. Rebound down finds Hutchinson. Hutchinson throws it out in front of Skinner. Skinner into the left corner. Three-pointer up. Won't go. Monville tries to battle the rebound. Can't do it. Skinner crashes for the double team. Outlet going the other way. Find Rachel Vinton. Vinton tries to go straight down the lane. That was a kick basketball.
Yes, it was.
No
I
was
call.
gonna say, I think they missed something
And
there.
the ball goes back the other way, and I agree with Coach Oxford. That ball didn't just take a 90-degree left-hand turn on its own. That had to have hit something fairly significant, but it goes as a ball out of bounds, and Leominster basketball.
Not a lot of argument when you're up by 14 now, but still.
It is hard
Plays
to
a
argue
play.
that point. That is correct. Skinner turns on the gas into the front court. The drive-in kick.
A lot of coaches find something to get upset about, though, so kudos to him.
Hutchinson gets the shot up, missed it, battle of the floor. Hutchinson eats it. Up floor going the other way. Into the paint. Shot up, and the foul is going to be called on Skinner.
Good pass in there. Not much Riley could do with that.
Interesting.
6:02 to play in the third quarter, and it's 32-18. Wachusett with the lead right now.
Did you see what I saw?
I saw it as well. That shot will go for Vinton.
Good job by Vinton there creating the contact. Skinner picking up her 3rd foul.
That one won't go, so Laura Vinton 1 of 2 on this trip. 33-18, under 6 minutes to play here in the third. Finnegan, the hard drive, got it up on the rim, won't go. And the rebound down for Rachel Vinton, and here we go the other way. Vinton stops at the arc, crosses back over. Finds Post. Post finds the cross-court skip for Johnson. Johnson down center of the lane, push shot, goes for 2. 35-18, 5.5 to play here in quarter 3. Ball poked away by Post. Tipped away by Finnegan as they try to find Rachel Vinton. Rachel Vinton gets the loose basketball, sets up a Johnson 3. You can't leave anyone open. Meanwhile, lead man pass down the floor. Skinner hacked from behind by Post, and Skinner's going to the line for 2.
Offense comes from too many directions for the Mountaineers, and they're showing it off tonight.
5:11 to play here in the third quarter. Post picks up her second, team first of the second half for the Mountaineers.
Haley Johnson must be climbing up there in the score sheet, close to
Yes.
double figures by now.
9 right now.
9. Back-to-back baskets here early in the third.
First one won't go for Skinner. Skinner committed to Merrimack College, I believe, if memory serves. Playing the all too difficult Northeast 10 conference there in Division II. It's a tough conference for D2 basketball, just about any D2 sport. I'm a big fan of the Northeast 10. Battle to the floor. Held ball the call.
Got Ninja Blue Devil over here. I think she twisted her ankle.
Yeah, I
got
think
landed on.
looks like that's
21?
Amaya Escobalis.
Yeah.
And I think she ended up on the bottom of that pile as there was the battle for the ball, and then the bodies kind of rolled over her, and it was just unfortunate. You end up at the bottom of the collection of bodies there.
Yeah, it looks like her right leg got rolled up on. Putting a little bit of weight on it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Get some help off the floor. Hutchinson and Ivana Akacheri there to help. 5:08 to play, quarter 3, 38-18, a 20-point Mountaineer lead. Finnegan on the inbound. Behind the back, gave up the dribble. Hands for Smith. Nope, tipped away. Rachel Vinton. Vinton out in front. Lays it in.
Riley Skinner on the bench right now. I'll have to see where the Blue Devils can find some offense.
40-18. And Adams gets held up as she tries to dribble through 2.
That becomes the 8th person now on the score tally for the Mountaineers.
We knew they were going to spread the scoring around. We just wasn't sure how much they were going to spread it.
Like
And,
peanut butter.
it's everything. Mountaineers are everything that we thought they would be as far as consistency.
40 points
Getting
from
everybody
8 players.
involved.
Now here's
That's
the
about
real
5
question.
per player,
Yeah,
give or take.
Here's the real question: crunchy or smooth?
Smooth,
Me
creamy.
too. Creamy.
Creamy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm creamy too.
Creamy.
Yep.
And not that we get too much into name brand, but it's got to be Skippy. Shot off the left side. 3-pointer goes for Giovanna Smith.
I'm a Peter
And it's
fan.
40-21. Peter Pan?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan creamy.
Bill Thomas plays Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
What about you, Bradley?
Bradley,
Nothing.
not so much.
I eat fruit.
You
for
can have peanut
playing.
butter. It's got a little bit of protein in it. Corner 3, back rim, no. And the rebound down for Johnson. Sets up a post, 2. Goes as a long 2. Down for a 42-21 Mountaineer lead halfway through this third quarter. Finnegan spinning, gave up the dribble. Kept possession though. Hutchinson for Smith, 18 to shoot. Smith gives it up, Adams. Now Finnegan. Finnegan into the double team for Adams. Adams the 3, wide of the mark. Out of bounds. Mountaineer basketball.
Blue Devils trying to run a little motion here, a little weave, but you got to get those cutters involved. You just can't play catch on the top of the key with that. You got to look inside, and one about every 3 passes needs to go inside.
And your point there, Bill Thomas, was very apt. It's not just weaving the basketball.
Right.
It's weaving and progressing the basketball.
inside the arc, not 3 feet outside the arc.
Exactly. Because they'll let you stay out there all day long.
Exactly. It's working it in and then look for that open cutter.
Dribble penetration's been the tough spot. Jump spot there for Haley Johnson won't go. Akacheri with the ball, finds Smith on the outlet. Now up floor, Adams. Adams to the left elbow, kept it alive. Faith Akacheri with a lot of waving motion, got through 2. Shot up off the front rim, won't go. 3 minutes to play here in the third, and back down floor. It's Reagan McDonald. Finds its way to Belle Lamfair. Sets up Scott. Jumper for 2 won't go. Smith, rebound, and the over the back comes from Nariah Scott.
A little over anxious there after that miss. Didn't have position.
And that's what happens is you lose position, you get a little bit frustrated, try to get back into the play, and then you're reaching around a body to get to the basketball.
You're on the wrong side of the ball by then.
Whoops.
Got to crash the basket right after you shoot it. You're the first one that knows it's not going to go in.
Indeed. Smith for Adams in the right corner. Now Adams round the world, down the lane, push, shot, banged it off the window, and still too strong. Scott down floor. It's 2-on-1 against Skinner, and that one goes, and it's 44-21.
Once again, Lady Blue Devils getting beat down court. Fast break ran to perfection by the Mountaineers.
Skinner sets up Smith. Three-pointer off the mark. Rebound for Belle Lanfair. Up floor, she finds Courtney Lanfair, who collides with Gabby Frederick, and the foul called. It'll be Mountaineer basketball.
Still a little chaotic basketball here by the Blue Devils, but they're hanging in there.
Faith Akacheri checks back into the game for Megan Hutchinson.
16-point lead is grown just a bit. No, 13-point right now. Where are we at? My math
Try
is all
more
screwed
math,
up.
Billy. Try
Yeah,
more math.
23. I'm trying not to get 23.
Todd, I think you're rubbing off.
Trying not to get 23 when I'm looking
That
at the
subtraction
scoreboard.
gets tricky.
It's addition by subtraction,
Yes,
or
yes.
something like that.
I was trying to convince myself
gosh.
that the lead was still.
Neither of you should take MCAS.
Lanfair cross
Neither of
court
you.
skip for Bell. I am a proud, proficient, and advanced passer of the
You
MCAS.
didn't get proficient? You didn't get advanced?
No, I didn't
Oh,
get
nice
advanced. Smarty pants.
Smarty pants.
Three from the left side won't go. Smith the rebound. Up floor Adams. Three-pointer off the left side won't go for Skinner. 1.5 to play here in the third quarter. One Lanfair tries to find the other, swatted down. Skinner's got the loose ball. Skinner finds Adams, down floor in the lead. Can't get it to go. And Griffin with the rebound. Up floor, Belle Lanfair comes to
I
Scott
could
on the
do
near
that.
side.
I could do that. That right there. That would have been me. For the best.
Floats into the post and to nobody in particular. Ball out of bounds. Leominster basketball. 1:10 to play here in the third. 44-21, Wachusett's lead.
Billy, how was your hand-eye coordination in high school?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been my game situation pretty much since 1999.
My game was table tennis.
Table tennis.
If they had a varsity table tennis team, I would have been the captain.
I'm with you. Foul on the long two there. Looks like a couple of shots coming up here for Skinner. 52.1 to play here in the third.
You know, it's a table tennis club right here in Leominster.
I believe that.
Yeah, they meet weekly. It's right downtown.
Meanwhile, Bill Thomas, of course, represented the Central Massachusetts. They are out in Las Vegas playing billiards.
But yes.
So come on, don't doubt yourself.
Well, hey, you know, it was a
Out there
fun
with the
time.
billiard squad.
So that means Billy's really good at geometry.
Came back with empty pockets, but still had fun.
But you had your pockets. And that
we
was
didn't win.
fun.
That's a
We
fact.
didn't win out there, but we won. My team won our way out there, which was good. So it was all good.
Anytime somebody else is paying,
Nothing like a
that's
free
win.
trip. Absolutely.
Scott down floor, drives to the foul line, picked by Smith.
Oh,
Swatted
kickback.
down. Scott with it. Cross court coming to the near side. And the Mountaineers set the half court offense.
Patience. That's one thing I'm seeing from the Mountaineers.
Indeed. Hey, they don't
Look at
have to be
that.
any kind of rush.
Beautiful.
They find the open player, and Griffin will lay it in.
But let's give Nariah Scott a little bit of kudos there on that interior bounce pass. I mean, way to make it work.
That were pretty.
Yeah, they've got all the tools. Shot clock off. 17 seconds to play here in quarter three.
Billy, you talk about patience when they're leading by 20 plus. Got all the time in the world.
Frederick missed her first opportunity, but got her own rebound and laid it in.
But I don't think their game has changed, Kate. You know, from what we saw in the first half, they're playing the same type basketball.
Yep.
Three at the buzzer will not go for Reagan McDonald, and that's how the third quarter will end, with Wachusett still on top, now by a total 46-24 over Leominster. And Billy, I tend to agree with both you and Kate in this way. There is not one aspect of this that has been a surprise, and it's been fairly consistent from the opening tip-off to where we are now.
Yeah, and, you know, and I'm doing some quick math there. I think quarter to quarter, 14, 18, and 14 for the Wachusett Mountaineer girls, and just consistency within itself, within the game right there. and that's going to lead to a lot of wins. They're not struggling to find points. They're spreading it around. I think Kate said as many as 8 Lady Mountaineers are on the scoreboard, so I'm not surprised at what we're seeing on the scoreboard.
8 total, Kate. 46 points across 8 players right now.
You've got it.
And I bet you nobody's in double figures for the Mountaineers.
Not yet.
No, and that's
couple with 9.
And that's what we saw. You know, a top scorer, 11.1, and you know, a number of players. I think 6 with at least a 6 plus scoring average, and they're showing it tonight.
I got asked by my students recently for a documentary that they were making in my, of all things, documentary class. But it was a combination of boys and girls that were on the team, and a couple of them were girls basketball players and a couple of them were boys basketball players. And so they interviewed me and they said, all right, what's the difference between boys and girls basketball? And I said, team. Team is the difference between men's and women's, boys and girls basketball. In the women's game, players work together to work the basketball. And what we've seen tonight from Wachusett is 5 players, whichever combination are on the floor, work the basketball together, running their offense until the opening comes.
Yeah,
and they convert.
And we just see it right there. I mean, continue, pass, 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 look for the cutter, look for the weak side, rebound, and stay with it. And they just showed it right there, everything you just talked about.
Third opportunity, Mariah Scott with the finish.
We've got somebody in double digits.
Into the corner. Smith, the shot won't go. Skinner gets called for a foul on the rebounding action.
That'll be her 4th.
You know, and Mariah Scott came in at 9.1, so she's kind of right there. You know, in the big picture, they came in scoring 60.8. They're probably going to get close to that. And only giving up 34. I mean, they're playing right to their numbers.
Skinner asked for a little clarification on the foul call and nodded her head and moved on. And wins the tip at the half court. Here's the drive and the foul on the strip. 7:11 to play here in the fourth quarter, 48-24. Wachusett's lead. And Kate, you mentioned Mariah Scott into double digits. First player for the Mountaineers in double digits. And by the way, that's off the bench. She's got double digits coming in off the bench. Didn't start either half.
We discussed that. Clairvoyant.
Indeed. Shot off the mark there for Adams. Skinner tried to keep it alive on the baseline.
Or I can just read.
And cannot.
I think I can read good.
The Derek Zoolander School for kids who can't read good.
Yep, I'm a graduate. Still got advanced.
Here's the drive.
I like to poke.
Float left side.
You.
And that's why the crowd loves you. What can I say? Smith up floor. 4-on-2 if they hurry. Play slowed down. Mountaineers get it. Finnegan was tipped from behind.
Is that a steal?
Indeed it was. Up floor they find Scott. Scott with the team lead adds 2 more to the total and brings the Mountaineers to a 50-24 lead.
That's not just survival mode.
No doubt. Smith along the baseline lost the basketball. Back the other way. Lanfair drives by Skinner. Now Scott. Scott in the back door and had it deflected away as Skinner had her back to Scott, who was driving the baseline. Can't ever give up location of the basketball.
Belle Lanfair inbounding. I got to tell you, I'm probably as impressed by her as any of the Mountaineers. For a sophomore, running the point, controlling the action, and just smallest girl on the court, and she seems like she's touching the ball every time up and down the court, whether on offense or defense. She's involved in almost every transitional play.
Bridget Griffin with the pull-up 2 makes it 52-24. Under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. The drive, tipped away, loose ball, and Gabby Frederick runs it down.
All I hear are knees.
Indeed.
Knees on hardwood.
Hutchinson decides to drive off the mark.
That's why I was in the water in the winter season.
Fenton cross-court corner. There's Belle Lanfair. Hit the side of the backboard. Loose ball to Finnegan. 3-on-2. Leominster's got numbers. Finnegan got blocked by Lanfair. 2 shots coming up for Finnegan at the line. And
that's what Aunt Pat used to call wailing and flailing.
yeah, that was pretty much it.
Wailing and flailing.
Wailing and flailing. You're
Square
way
to
down
net,
the floor.
No wailing and flailing.
Tough girl, Belle Lanfair. Just jumped right up.
That's a Patty Meyer special.
That was, indeed.
Just for you.
longtime coach, longtime physical education teacher.
Long time on.
Long time on for you.
No wailing and flailing.
Finnegan can't get that one to go. Back down floor into the corner. Landfair is playing catch on the left side of the arc. Comes across, Vinton. Vinton goes cross court on the angle, looking for Courtney Landfair and can't find her. Ball out of bounds, back to Leominster.
I find that every time I watch basketball, I realize just how non-contact the vast majority of my sports were. All three of my sports had very regimented separation of players.
Contact in swimming would have been a little weird.
It's happened. It happens a lot.
Ball is
Change
swatted
there.
away, yes indeed. Back down floor, and
Oh,
Hutchinson
Scott.
returns the favor with Scott and helps her up with a little smile on
Hello.
both sides.
Howdy, neighbor.
Our next broadcast of Leominster High School Hoops right here on Leominster TV comes your way next Tuesday night, January the 30th. It's the boys taking center stage once again, and the Tomahawks from Algonquin are here at the gym at Leominster High School. Leominster and Algonquin boys hoops right here on Leominster TV next Tuesday night, January the 30th. And Bradley promises, in a timely fashion, you'll be able to see that game on Leominster TV.
Ow.
Games available on demand at leominster.tv.
Well, alrighty then.
Shot off the mark. Tipped up the middle of the court. Given away, back the other. Here's Rachel Vinton. Vinton cross court, fine. Finds Landfair.
Dang.
Back to Vinton. 4:18 to play here in
You
the
know
fourth
you're not
quarter.
subtle at all, right?
I'm about as subtle as a hammer between
Like
the eyes.
jackhammer.
Here's the drive. Kick back for Landfair. Landfair on the double team. Handoff inside.
Nothing.
Laura Vinton off mark. On the baseline, Scott comes out with it. Pinpoint
Wow.
passing, sets up a three-pointer to the left from Rachel Vinton.
They all
And a
know
foul
where
on
they're
the
gonna be.
rebounding action. Indeed, they
That's
do.
the beauty of it. They know exactly without having to wait, without having to hesitate, without even having to look. They know where their teammates are going to be.
And it's a feel and touch. Court presence, feel, touch on the ball, touch on your shots at the rim.
Yep. Court
they've
awareness.
got a really nice, diverse platform.
I wonder if coach hasn't practiced blindfolded. Well, that.
You just know where your
Get your
players are
other
supposed
senses
to be.
involved.
That's right.
Right.
Take one sense away, the others get
A
involved.
little
That's right.
dodgeball reference there.
Hey, you
Be
know
the
what?
ball.
It's been one of those days.
Tonight's game on ESPN 8.
The
Ocho.
Ocho. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it plays off for her.
I'm sorry
what
I
a-
brought
what
it
a-
up.
What a movie. Oh, my. 3:50
Todd's,
to play here in
Todd's
the
just
fourth
upset
quarter.
he didn't get the announcer gig in that moment.
I would have loved to have the play-by-play on that.
Yep.
one.
Indeed. Bold move, Cotton.
Yes.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yes.
Let's see how it pans out for him.
Cross court, drive, and
Oh,
post. Shovels it ahead, finds Vinton. You're talking about the world
That
smiling
was
on you. You lose the dribble, and it
That was
Yeah,
a
lands
tricky
in
pass.
your
right in your
hands.
hand.
And an offensive foul on Skinner.
Take a
No
seat, Riley.
baskets.
That's number 5.
Take a seat, Riley.
That's Cinco. She just mouths. That's 5.
Yep.
And she knew it.
Yeah.
She's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, figures if she just keeps walking, maybe it
Nobody
won't
will
be a
notice.
reality.
She did say that's 5 3 times.
Yeah. 3:29 to play in the fourth quarter, and Riley Skinner's night
Those are the
is
times
over.
you just want to be invisible. Nope, not here.
52 to 25 is
Was my-
Wachusett's lead.
Was my twin.
Indeed. And we see a first opportunity into the game for Emma Burkhart. Burkhart playing a little defense. Post, a little over-the-shoulder
Wow.
pass. Sets up Belle Landfair, who finishes.
That's the 9th person on the score sheet.
Belle hadn't scored up to now? 'Cause
Nope.
She's done everything else on the court, I'll
You
tell
got
you.
it.
Been very impressed by her as a sophomore.
Poise.
Great potential
Yes.
as a
Great poise.
court general.
Shot off the mark. Battle to the floor. And out of bounds.
I thought they were
Leominster
going to
keeps
be in the
basketball.
Cousins Auditorium. They just kept going.
Indeed they were. I was having a thought tonight. You mentioned the Cousins
Oh, gosh.
Auditorium there.
This
I
is
was
scary, William.
I was out walking
William,
the floor.
get ready.
They've got this nice bamboo braided wall
Braided?
up there,
Braided bamboo?
of
Really?
sorts, yeah, right across the hall away from the gym. And
You're
it
jealous
looks,
it has Mr.
It looks
Cousins'
well. It
name?
looks very nice and has Mr. Cousins' name on it. That name used to be on the wall right around where the new Athletic Hall of Fame is.
Yeah.
That's where the auditorium name
place
used to be.
you'll never be.
Yeah, indeed. But all I think of is the great mural that used to be there. Remember the beautiful running devil photo that was that was painted up there? It was
You miss it?
gorgeous. I miss it. It used to be great.
The
Walk
one
out
on
of
the
the
court
gym.
too. You missed that one
I missed
too?
that one as well. Hey, I love the running devil. What can I say?
That's why it's your theme song.
Indeed it is. 2:20 to play here in the fourth. Drive back down floor post. Held ball the call. Alternate possession. Leominster basketball.
And somehow this lead has grown to 30 points.
Well, we've been talking
Quietly.
about peanut butter,
Quietly.
MCAS.
But I mean, not
Dodgeball.
flashy. The
No.
Mountaineer girls,
And that's
they're
not their game.
flashy.
That's not their
They
game.
don't have a 20-point score lofting it up from three-point land. They're just efficient.
It's efficient.
They're
and it's
efficient.
It's blue collar. It's
Yeah.
hard
I like
work.
it.
Work the basketball. Find the opportunity. Finish when you get the opportunities.
They're right at their numbers. Gonna
Burkhart
score
with the
30.
rebound.
Hold their opponent to under 30.
Frederick finds Burkhart. And now Akacheri. Under 2 to play here in the fourth quarter. Akacheri had her pocket pick, lost her dribble,
Oh,
stepped through a
yeah.
defender,
Eventually.
and no, it doesn't work that way. Traveling violation, ball back to the Mountaineers.
That's how you played basketball.
Trying to do a little
No,
too much.
she was
right
standing up.
Todd was on the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I spent more time
God, do you
on the
know
floor.
what I would
There. He
pay
would have got
to
called
have
for
seen him?
traveling because he would have been rolling.
bench?
Yeah, he would have been rolling and tripping by then.
So I'm a little taller than I was back then. I will say that, and I was a center.
Shocking.
I think it was more a size issue.
Shocking.
A little push shot will go for Bellland Fair. And the part that I will always remember is we used to play these schools like Winchington and Murdoch and some of the schools from and it was like going up against the trees. I'd walk out for the tip at half court and
And
I'd
you'd
just be
look
like, really? Really? All these years
What are
later,
they feeding
that
these
hasn't
kids?
changed.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, serious? Why bother throwing the ball
Now, there are
up?
two kinds of centers, and you weren't the tall one.
I was more of an anchor than anything else. I anchored that floor as Finnegan with the drive. and it
Wasn't
won't
going
go.
anywhere.
Why are we talking about my athletic career? That is my career has been right here since '99, and I've loved every minute of it.
Mine's been here since 2011, and I've had the time of my life.
I agree. No complaints. 1:03 to play here in the fourth.
I get dragged along.
Happy to have you with us.
Just so you know, we couldn't do it without you, so don't get
I
any
agree.
ideas.
57-25. Wachusett's lead, and Bill Thomas, I noticed
here for
this
the car
week.
ride.
Now go figure. Right now, I've looked at her Twitter before, but I noticed her Twitter description this week, and it was like conscripted sports broadcaster or something
really?
like that. Yeah,
I like
I
that.
was like, what is this? Why have I never seen this before?
I think
probably
it's coerced.
She's been playing
Coerced sports.
Oh, she's a
broadcaster.
coerced sports.
She was
guy.
coerced.
Okay,
Yes.
we got it.
That's how marriage works, something like that. Loose
There
ball,
you go.
middle of the floor. Yeah, there it is.
Is coercion legal?
High school social studies teacher, softball coach, coerced sports broadcaster, adopted by the officiating world. I mean, it pretty much sums her up.
That's my life.
I mean, that's
Wait,
her in a
you forgot
heartbeat.
to put in there crack statistician.
That's my life.
Numbers. She's got the numbers.
I do math. I do math good.
40 seconds to play here in the fourth. Advanced. Ball out of bounds. Back to Leominster. 36.7 to play here in the fourth.
Mountaineers continue to run that weave, continue to bounce past their way to the basket. Just very impressed with their overall efficiency.
I'm a truth
Indeed.
slayer. I slay truth.
Oh, good grief. Frederick has her pocket pick.
Oh,
Loose
God.
ball on the bench. Ball out of
Riley's
bounds.
like, I can't play anymore,
Yeah.
guys. Don't give me the ball.
Somehow they keep feeding her even if she's not allowed in the game anymore. Shot clock is off. 26 seconds to play here in the fourth. Here's Vinton. Up floor. Finds Landfair.
Let's just hold the ball, shall we?
Landfair back cross court. Finds Vinton.
Betcha they shoot.
For post.
Really?
I don't know. Will they dribble it out?
Just dribble it out, kids. Yeah, just.
And, yeah, they're going to let it go. Under 10 seconds to play here. And
don't,
Leominster
don't,
is going to defend it.
Why?
Held ball is the call, and the ball
Coach
back the
Palazzi.
other way. And Coach Palazzi
Why?
just
why?
stunned.
Yeah, but you know what? The girls don't want to stop playing.
No, and you give them credit
know
for
what?
that, like the hustle
Exactly.
and whatever.
Exactly.
I know what Coach Palazzi's thinking. Somebody has called off the dogs.
Yeah.
Like, enough.
Right.
But
no
not,
sense aggravating
so much.
the dog behind the fence.
yeah, Wachusett
Might
a winner
have to play
tonight.
these girls
Because guess
again.
what? If they meet in the playoffs,
Yeah.
they're not going to call off
No,
the
they're
dogs.
going to remember that.
Yep.
Remember that held
57
ball
to
with 10
26.
seconds left?
Yeah, you remember when you got that held ball?
Next
Yeah,
time,
indeed.
shoot it.
Wachusett a winner, 57 to 26. A break, and we're back with more. Post game's next. You're listening to Leominster High School Hoops here on Leominster TV. Joined now by Leominster High School head coach Dave Palazzi. 57-26 Wachusett, a winner tonight. Coach, good to see you at the start of the year here. Unfortunately, a bit of a rough go tonight, but overall, I mean, hey, 6-4 overall. 1-3 in Midwatch. You'd certainly like to see those numbers going in a different direction, but a very competitive league this year.
Yeah, I mean, we, Wachusett beat us twice. We lost to Shepherd Hill and Groton. They've all had one loss. I mean, we're playing some good teams, but, the past few games we've really been working on our shooting. We've done a lot for our offense. We played very well offensively, and tonight we just, hats off to Wachusett. They played tremendous defense. Coach Oxford's got them going on the defensive end, playing tough man-to-man defense, and they kind of smothered us a little bit, and we couldn't hit shots, and then we get to the free throw line, and we couldn't get anything going. Our 5 points before half, I thought that was fantastic to try to give us a little
Great
run,
sequence.
but we come out in the first possession, we lose the ball, and that kind of was the story of the night, really.
When you looked at things prior to the game, and it kind of came true as we were talking about things in the pregame, we saw Wachusett had that point distribution. They were going to spread the ball around on offense. They score a lot of points, but they don't typically have anybody averaging in double digits. And then you look on the other side, and you guys have Riley Skinner, and that's where the double-digit point average is. Pretty easy to see how this is going to go. They're going to spread the basketball out, and they're going to try to smother the one player that can score the points. What they did tonight.
Yeah, and you're right, but the past few games we've really been spreading around our scoring, and this year Grace Adams has had 16, 18, 19 points. Finnegan had 9 the other night, and Haley Monville's been contributing, and Meg Hutchinson's had a good game the other day. So we understand that we need some offense, and we need people to put the ball in the basket. And when they're playing tough defense and things aren't going your way, it's really it's tough to get it going. I mean, they're a championship program. They've been there before, and we have some great seniors in Skinner and Hutchinson, and Frederick's playing for us, more so, and Amaya and Emma and things. But they played a great game tonight. Hats off to them. But we just got to get back at it. We got Shrewsbury coming in here on Friday, and we got to get to 10 victories. That's our goal right now, is to get to number 7.
And right now, one of the nice things, you have both of the Wachusett games now in your rearview mirror. So early on in the season, you get those out of the way. It's not as if you're going to be going into the home stretch and having to face them, which is always nice. No real opponent in the mid-watch is ever going to be a cakewalk, and so you certainly have some tough things ahead. One of the things I did notice as you were talking, contributions on the scoring sheet for the Blue Devils from 8 different players tonight. Sometimes consistency a little bit difficult, shooting 10 of 54, 19% from the field tonight. So can you talk about kind of working those fundamentals when you're going up against the juggernaut in mid-watch while still trying to maintain consistency?
Yeah, and we talk about being strong with the ball and going strong to the basket and things like that, and getting a little bit of movement on offense. I think the first half they were smothering us on defense, and we really weren't calling our offense out and squaring to the basket, and all the little things you need to do when you getting pressure, and you need someone to take over there. And you're right, they were triple teaming Riley, but Megan hit a shot, and we had some things going on. We missed a lot of layups. I think our bigs sometimes we don't grab the ball and go up strong, and we miss some easy baskets, and that's really where we got to get better. But Monville and Faith Akachiri, and Grace and Skylar, they're all sophomores, so in the off season they really got to work on being strong with that ball and going up, and a lot of those offensive rebounds will turn into points. But you're right. We really need to spread it out a little bit and try to get some offense going, and not rely on just Skinner to do it for us. When you play a great team like that and they work the ball around and they tire you out and they wear you out on defense, and that's really, we don't have a lot of depth. So
that's one of the things that you could see early on. You have a program like Wachusett going into these games clearly with a lot of confidence with their record thus far, able to bring in wholesale changes in the first quarter of play because they know they're going to get scoring contributions. Their high scorer of the night, Scott, comes in 13 points off of the bench for Wachusett. So having that understanding that your starting 5 really are, their legs are going to have to try to get you through this game late in the fourth quarter if it becomes a close one. Well, on the flip side, full well knowing Wachusett making wholesale changes even in the first quarter.
Well, obviously that's their game plan. They're going to play tough physical defense. They're going to run up and down the floor. They're going to swing the ball around. They're going to make us work, and knowing that we don't have the depth that they do. But that's why in the past they've gone zone to try to fix things, and they kind of know our 2-3 zone a little bit. But we'll be back. I mean, we just got to keep playing it out, and we're getting better and better each and every week. I mean, it's a tough game to lose tonight at home for the seniors, but hopefully we can get to the playoffs, and you never know what happens after that.
Absolutely.
A couple more mid-watch games in the queue, Coach. You mentioned Shrewsbury coming up at the end of the week, at Algonquin next week as well. So certainly a lot on tap.
Yeah, we got Shrewsbury, we got Algonquin twice. I mean, they're going to be tough, and we get Shepherd Hill again. So we got a big stretch in Fitchburg in there, and a couple more games north in Neshoba. So, we get some games where we're going to be competitive in those games, but we really got to get back to basics.
But good to know. Welcome back to Central Massachusetts basketball.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I don't have to try to figure out what some of those teams are, Sci Tech and wherever those teams
That's
are
right.
in Western Mass. And the good thing, though, I went to UMass, and it was very difficult not to take a couple right turns up there on a couple of
That's
scouting
right.
trips
That's
last
right.
year with Coach Barnaby when we went out there. But, yeah, it's good to be back to Central Mass.
Rafters is still there, Coach.
That's
right.
right.
Right where you left it out
Oh,
there.
I know it is. Absolutely.
All right, Coach, thank you so
All right,
much. We'll
guys.
see you in the
Thank
coming
you.
Appreciate
weeks.
it.
A break and a final word. You're watching Leominster High School Hoops here on Leominster TV. Back inside the gym at Leominster High School, Bill Thomas rejoins us. Kate, you've got a final look at the stats. We'll get a final word from Billy in a moment.
It's not pretty.
Indeed.
All right, let's take a look first. Leominster Blue Devils side of the ball team totals first 10 of 54 from the field. That's 19% shooting for the Blue Devils. 2 of 13 from behind the three-point arc. That's 15%. 4 of 15 as a team behind the from the charity stripe. That's shooting 27%. 21 rebounds, 8 steals, 26 turnovers for the Blue Devils. 8 people contributing to the scoring tallies tonight. Finnegan with 2, Smith with 3, Frederick with 2, Skinner with 10, Faith Akachiri with 2, Adams, with 2, Hutchinson with 4, and Monville with 1. Let's take a look at the Mountaineers side of the ball. 23 of 41 from the field, 56% shooting for the Mountaineers tonight. 3 of 10 from behind the three-point arc. They were 4 of 9 from the charity stripe as a team, shooting 44%. 27 rebounds, 4 steals, 21 turnovers. 9 contributors to the scoring tallies tonight for the Mountaineers. Vinton with 2, Scott with 13, Griffin with 9, McDonald with 4, Lampner with 5, Johnson with 9, the other Lampner with 2, Post with 2, and the other Vinton with 1.
They all got on the sheet.
The other and the other
nine
and the
players,
other.
57
The other one.
points. Kate, great job
Hey, thanks.
tonight. And Billy, as we heard from Coach Palazzi moments ago, and I think it pretty much sums up the situation here. All you can do is go right back at it.
Yeah.
You took your medicine tonight, and you go right back at it at the end of the week.
I think what we saw tonight was a well-oiled machine against a work in progress.
Yes.
Lady Blue Devils show some potential. They got a lot of things they need to work on. I think their half-court offense needs some work. Get away from that one-on-one. We saw a lot of one-on-one, especially in transition, not looking for the trailer, not looking for a cutter. And, individualizing, there's no I in team. And Coach Palazzi is going to stress that. He talked a little bit about it in the post game here. But he'll go back to coaching, and he knows the big picture is get to the playoffs. Maybe we'll see these girls again.
Indeed.
Maybe there'll be a chance. One stat that Kate threw out just caught me by surprise, but doesn't surprise me when I look at the final score and the number. 26 turnovers, same number of points the Lady Blue Devils scored.
Indeed.
You're not going to win when you score
Same
only
number of points.
the turnovers and the points end up at the same number.
Yeah.
I think that kind of says it all.
And that'll be our number of the night. 57-26, Wachusett a winner. Our next broadcast of Leominster High School basketball right here on Leominster TV next Tuesday night, January the 30th. It's the boys back on center stage. They play host to Algonquin. Should be a great matchup there. 2 scrappy basketball teams in need of a win right here next Tuesday night on Leominster TV. For our award-winning executive producer Bradley Bedard, Coach Dave Palazzi, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins saying thank you so very much for joining us and for all of us at Leominster TV. Until next time, so long, everybody.